Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to bring to you my top 10 list of guys that you need to target in your redraft leagues. These are prospects for 2021 that a lot of people will forget about or not even have on their lists. Instead, other teams are going to be taking veterans that really have no business being on the bottom half of your teams, especially those late round picks. So I don't want to waste much time. I want to get right into the list and talk about some actual players. So number 1. Nate Pearson. This is the top guy that I'd be taking. All of these players right now on this list are from MLB's top 100 prospect list. Nate Pearson is a huge body, and he throws a mean fastball, well into the hundreds. It's one of the best fastballs in the entire MLB right now. Last year, he did come up, have a little bit of an injury concern, but this year he's playing for Toronto, and he's going to be in the rotation, and as long as he doesn't get hurt, he is going to strike out so many batters. The reason I have him number 1 on this list is because he's also playing for Toronto, which should get him a fair amount of wins this year as well. Moving on, number 2. Randy Arosina. Now, if you struggle with the last name, like I do, I wrote it down right here. Just not screw it up. So, Arosina. Last year, we all saw what he did in the World Series. There's no denying it. This guy had a massive World Series, maybe the greatest one of all time. But the problem is that the scouts don't seem to agree with what we saw in the World Series. So, which one are we supposed to believe? My guess is what'll happen with Arosina is somebody else will take him well before you probably should, and that's fine. Somebody else is going to believe him a lot more than the scouts do, or I do. I think he's a great player, and if he's down here at the bottom of the draft, you absolutely need to take him, just because if what he did in the World Series is real, then you want that on your team right now, and he should be taken way higher. The problem is the scouts don't really agree with what they saw, and so it's kind of this weird balance between what do I believe, what is this guy? So my guess is that he will be taken well before a Nate Pearson does, and I would much rather have a Nate Pearson. Number 3. Dylan Carlson. So last year Dylan Carlson came up for St. Louis and was awful. He hit a $150 and looked like he didn't belong. And so they sent him down to the alternative site. About a week and a half later, he comes up and all of a sudden the dude's hitting like 350. He's showing good power, and it looked like a whole new man. In fact, in the wild card game for St. Louis, he hit 4th. He's only like 23 years old. Now, St. Louis doesn't have the greatest offense in the world, especially last year. So, but still, hitting 4th at 23, they said the only other player to do that was Albert Pujols for St. Louis, The thing you have to remember with Dylan Carlson, too, is he's rather going to hit in front of or behind Goldschmidt and Arenado this year. So that means he's rather going to get a lot of runs or a lot of RBI. So I would absolutely be targeting Carlson towards that back half of your draft. Number 4. Casey Mize, homegrown boy. You can see, this side, you can see, probably and tell where I'm from here. Casey Mize does pose a bit of an injury risk long term, but guys, this is a redraft league. This is just 1 year. I need him for 1 year. If you're looking for strikeouts late in the year, Casey Mize probably has the best secondary pitches of any prospect and probably half of the starting pitchers right now in the major leagues. Did he come up and struggle last year? Yes, but a lot of pitchers, especially the prospects, do come up, they struggle a little bit, and then they absolutely take off. Corbin Burns was one of these guys. He came up and struggled for a year, but then, boom, huge year. I could see that out of Casey Mize. The one thing you have to be careful with him, though, is the Tigers are not going to be very good. So if you're chasing wins, if you're in category league and you're chasing wins at this point, probably not the guy to go with, and maybe skip and go with the next guy. But K's, this is your guy. Number 5. Mackenzie Gore. So a lot of you guys who might be more in tune with prospects know that Mackenzie Gore is, I think, number 4, number 5 on MLB's site and higher on many other sites. So why don't I have him higher on my site? Well, the thing with Mackenzie Gore is I'm not 100% convinced that they're going to call him up and pitch this year. So right now he does not have a spot. Yes, Dylan Lamet is nursing a bicep injury. Clevenger's not going to pitch. So there's definitely things that are concerning for people in front of him. But he's also only 21, 22. I'm not 100% convinced he will pitch. But if he does, if you find out after this that he is up and pitching, you want to snag him and you want to put him number 1 on this list, because he's the most ace potential pitcher of any prospect right now. His grades are out of the roof and you need to target him. But until that happens, he's probably the riskiest one on this list so far. Number 6. Sixto Sanchez. Now, actually, I'm going to give you 6 and 7 at the same time here, because Ian Anderson and Sixto Sanchez are very similar. Late in the drafts, I'm assuming you're going to be targeting a lot of starting pitching. You want those flyers, you want those guys who might have huge seasons, who can become aces. Yeah, you might need a position player, but pitching is at a premium, and you need to target Sixto and Ian Anderson well before you're taking these Lesters and Cole Hamels and all these old arms that have, used to be studs, but they're just not anymore. These are the future studs. Some of these guys are going to break out into the top 20, and these are the guys you need to be taking instead of those old guys. So again, last couple picks in the draft, target both Sixto and Ian Anderson. Number 8. Ryan Mountcastle. Now here's your position player. Came up last year, hit well, played well, and there's no reason to think that he can't do that again. Plays for a bad team. Counting stats might be a little bit down. That's okay. He plays in Camden Yards. He's going to hit more home runs than normal people will. So, given all that, I like Ryan Mountcastle this year. I think that when you're targeting guys in redraft leagues at the end of your draft, you need guys that have high upside. So instead of taking your Brett Gardners, look for Ryan Mountcastle, because he can elevate his game far more than a Brett Gardner will, or somebody of that caliber. Number 9. Ke'Bryan Hayes. Now, this is kind of a coin flip for me, because Ke'Bryan Hayes himself is going to be a really good baseball player. He came into the league kind of as a defensive player first and a hitter second, but last year he really showed some good life. Pittsburgh was a team that looked dead inside. And when Ke'Bryan Hayes came up, they actually looked like they had a little bit of life. Josh Bell didn't help, Reynolds didn't really help, but between Moran and Hayes, they had a little bit of something going on there. So if he can continue to do that, that'd be great for you if you take him. The problem is, the counting stats will be down. He plays for Pittsburgh, and it's also very hard to break into that kind of elite third baseman. So will Ke'Bryan Hayes ever be better than somebody you can pick up? Maybe. Now, the thing you're buying when you buy this late is you're buying the upside. So if you stick him on the bench and he breaks out, perfect. He's got the talent to break out, and he's got the opportunity to do so. So keep him in mind for sure. Even if you don't take him on draft day, keep him in mind. Number 10. Oh, another homegrown. Tariq Skubal. So, again, a lot of you guys are doing categories, and if you're looking for strikeouts late, this is the guy to get. A lot of people won't even know who he is. He is, I think, 23rd on MLB's prospect list. He came up last year. He pitched. He actually pitched better than Casey Mize. Big lefty with strikeout stuff. He was striking out 14 batters per 9 in the major league or the minor leagues, and it looks like it translated pretty well. So this is the guy you want to target. If you're looking for wins late, probably not your guy, but strikeouts, I think that Skubal could really take off this year, and it's somebody to keep in mind late in the draft, because like I said, your Lesters, your Cole Hamels are not going to get strikeouts, and Skubal is the guy who's going to double strikeouts of those guys. So anyway, this is the top 10 list. I think I have a good 10 other names. If you're wondering where Wander Franco is and Jared Kelenic, I love these guys, but I do not see them coming up right away. I think that they're going to fiddle around with their service time. I could be wrong, and if I am, then feel free to take them. But these guys are primed right now to not only start and play, but to absolutely break out. So I have at least 10 more names that I want to give you. So I'll probably make a follow-up video and a few more of these. So hope you enjoyed. Target these guys because they could win your leagues.